They said, is it God or is it money? I said both. Who said you can't love God and get money? Hey, yeah. I was just doing the scene. Now I am right on your screen. Sitting right next to my queen. She is the girl that I need. She called me Adam Levine. Loved her since I was 19. Finna keep our life clean. Got it, money, our routine. Hey, I was just new on the scene. Now I am right on your screen. Sitting right next to my queen. She is the girl that I need. She called me Adam Levine. Loved her since I was 19. Finna keep our life clean. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, I said. None of this talk is all favor. She wanna chill, I said later. Told her I'd never betray her. Spending time with my creator. Gotta get this out on paper. Stick to my faith, I don't waver. They calling me a crusader. All this
yo, what up,
I just don't wanna be average. I'm in my prime with no package. What is the point with no
got
package?
that evening swole, the evening swole today.
I cannot believe in balance, tripping all over these
making those nighttime games. I'll sing you a swole time story.
I just caught me up being a king is a challenge. Bearing this fruit like I'm Adam. The future I cannot fathom. She think I'm funny and handsome. I'm making moves on a random. That's why I wrote me an album. One of these gonna be gold. One of these better be platinum. Wrote the song.
Yo, what up? A late stream, I know.
Don't know where you from, but you acting dumb. Like you made your bed in the catacombs, trying to rob the crown.
Hard to get in there early today.
This is holy ground and got the whole city like they're high up, but ain't a single pound. I said I was just doing the scene. Now I ain't right on the screen. Sitting right next to my queen. She is the girl that I need. She called me Adam Levine. Loved her since I was 19. Finna keep our life clean. Got it, money, our routine. Hey, I was just new on the scene. Now I am right on your screen. Sitting right next to my queen. She is the girl that I need. She called me Adam Levine. Loved her since I was 19. Finna keep our life clean. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, I said.
Jennifer, Michelle, Bill, Jay Sox, what up, Boosh? What up, Beaches? What up, Beaches? Papa Swole, yo, we're about to go schla. Ooh. Oh. Chill. Making gains. I'm pouring some more coffee. What?
They said, is it God or is it money?
Or is it gains?
I said both. Who said you can't love
fucking
God
gains.
and get money? Hey.
Who said you can't make money? I'm like, gains.
Doing the scene. Now I am right on your screen. Sitting right next to my queen. She is the girl that I need. She called me Adam Levine. Loved her since I was 19. Finna keep our life clean. Got it, money, our routine. Hey, I was just new on the scene. Now I am right on your screen. Sitting right next to my queen. She is the girl that I need. She called me Adam Levine. Loved her since I was 19. Finna keep our life clean. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, our routine. Got it, money, I said. None of this talk is all favor. She wanna chill, I said later. Told her I'd never betray her. Spending time with my creator.
All right. What's going on, Zach? Jay Sachs, Rada Fedes. What's up, Jeremy? Justin, what up, Ish?
Hey, I just don't wanna be average. I'm in my prime with no package. What is the point with no bandage? Temptation always a challenge. Giving but don't know what happened. I cannot believe in balance. Tripping all over these talents. Shout to my homies in Dallas.
Remember, guys, you want to find these awesome beats? Check out King Darius on SoundCloud.
King is a challenge.
King Darius.
Like I'm Adam. The future I cannot fathom. She think I'm funny and handsome. I'm making moves on a random. That's why I wrote me an album. One of these gonna be gold. One of these better be platinum. Wrote the song, it was off the dome. Got this on the throne. Take a land wrong. Don't know where you from, but you acting dumb like you made your bed in the catacombs.
Pinch your nips.
Turn around.
Pinch your nips. Pinch your nips. Pinch your nips.
Got the whole city like a
Here we go, fam. 1,000. Let it say.
Orale.
Without the bullshit.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling.
Welcome to the Walking Green Train. Hey, testing, testicles. I mean, testicles. Ball sack, vagina. Just kidding, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 1013 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast, and of course the taintscast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What is going on, ya beaches, ya booshes, ya pimps, busters, hustlers, hoes, all you swole sluts out there? What's up? What's going on, ladies? Touch your nips for daddy. Touching. I'm touching mine. Ooh. That's harder than expected. Anyway, it's a little bit chilly in Florida. A little bit chilly, so it's understandable. Understandable. You know, when the temperature drops, you get those rock hard nips. It happens. It happens from time to time. What's going on? We are live on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. The Gain Train is about to leave the station, and I'm glad because I'm punching tickets. Motherfuckers. I am the Swole conductor, and I am taking you for a ride. You like that? Oh. What's up? Let me say hello to the fam. Float some hearts on Instagram if you're loving Papa Swolio. We're on the daily Swole train. Robert Fetter's been jamming to King Darius for last week. Isn't my boy fucking fire? He's awesome. Those of you that like the outros, check this out. Those of you that are on Instagram, a lot of you follow me on YouTube and you watch my videos. You listen to the intros on Livecast on YouTube and also on Facebook and shit like that. The music, King Darius, you can find his shit on SoundCloud. Go to SoundCloud, type in King Darius, and he's got a lot of tracks. All those tracks I use for the outros, fire shit. Go check it out, subscribe, like it, give it a thumbs up. Go flood that shit. Go flood that stuff because I want him to look at those numbers and those plays on SoundCloud and be like, what the fuck happened? Someone hacked my account. I want him to be shocked by all the new listens. So if you want to check out that stuff, please go check it out. What up, Dale? Chris, what's going on? What's going on? Everyone tag someone, share, hit the share button, hit the like button. We're talking nutrition today, and we'll talk about any other kind of bullshit you want to talk about. Let's see we got comments on Instagram. Love your Cheeto coverage. Cheeto coverage? I have no idea what you're talking about. Whatever could you mean? Whatever could you mean? Cheeto? Who looks like a Cheeto? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. You guys like that new video? Actually, we'll talk about that for a second because those videos take, a lot of time. They're big videos and I've been posting a lot of stuff. Of course, Alan Roberts and we talked about that the other day. We talked about Brittany Dawn Fitness and all that stuff. I want to just make this clear. I'll say it now. And I do talk about it in the YouTube videos and I'm actually posting another one tomorrow. You all look, some of you are like, how much content do you have? How many videos can you do on her? Have you seen how many episodes of the Daily Swole I have? This is episode 1013 every fucking day. You think Papa Swolio runs out of content? No. I can make content with my eyes fucking closed. So I have more things to say. And as long as I have things to say, I'm going to fucking say it. And if you want to listen to me say it, I am grateful. If you don't listen. Go watch or listen to something else. But I definitely have more things to say. And you're going to get another video tomorrow. So make sure you hit that bell. So when I drop it in the morning, you get notified. You can watch it right away and drop a comment. So I appreciate all the support. And one of the issues and one of the reasons why I am keeping my foot on the gas pedal is because we all know that this country, especially with social media, how everything is just kind of like boom, boom, swipe, scroll. Things leave the main focus. Things leave the prime time really quick, don't they? The news cycle is so short. So people forget. And it's not like it's not even Brittany Dawn. It's not even her that I'm going after. Like my rage, my anger, my frustration is not even her. She is just the one that is she's the current state of the union, right? Remember last year or 2 years ago that Devin Physique guy from Shreds? Remember when it came out that his secretary or assistant was copying and pasting and writing all his programs? Because all these people that do this quote custom programming, it sounds nice and you can charge a lot for it, but you can't handle fucking volume. Today's video on YouTube, I talked about that. Even if you have 300 people, you cannot FaceTime. Remember that part in the video? I'll let you go watch it. You can't FaceTime with 10 people a day, 300 minutes. She's going to be hours. It's bullshit. And I know, and that's why I can say those things. And that's why she fucked up to begin with, because she didn't have experience in the fitness industry. She didn't have experience, influencer or not, whatever you want to fucking title it. She didn't have any experience. She doesn't know how to do it. She doesn't know how to coach. She doesn't know, because coaching and leading someone, guiding someone, providing information and guidance, it's not about writing a program. It's not about knowing macros and knowing nutrition. It's also time management. It's also, because if you don't know time management, if you don't understand how long it takes things, how can you help someone else? Because a lot of the problem is fitting fitness and making sure people can schedule their nutrition and their fitness properly. That's a huge aspect. We're busy. We're busy people. As technology gets better, we get more and more busy. So that's a huge part of helping someone get more fit is time management, learning how to work this in, how to interweave it. And it's just completely gone. It's missing. And this is not the only instance. So she is the flavor of the week, of the month, perhaps. But it goes deeper than that. My issue with all this is not specifically her. She is just the spearhead, the tip of the spear of what is going on all the time. This is happening. This is happening all the time. And it's happening right now. It's happening right now with a lot of people, but not everyone has a platform. Not everyone can make a YouTube video and get views and get it out there. Not everyone scams hundreds or thousands of people. Maybe it's a couple. Maybe it's some coach starting out that shouldn't be and sent out 10 plans and fucked over 10 people. You're not going to hear about that shit. You know you're not going to hear about that shit. You're not going to fucking hear about it. Does that make it any less? I mean, drop in the comments. What do you think? Is that less? If you screw over 10 people, let's say you have a little mini Dawn somewhere and they're doing something similar. They're not providing, and it's only for 10 people. Does that make it better? I mean, obviously, if you do it to 100 people, it's more volume. I'm not saying, but really, like the concept, it's the same. There was a time when she fucked over 10 people. It just grew and kept on going. She just didn't stop. So it's not any different, but this is happening on a small level. This has just got to a point, and think about how long. How disrespectful, check this out. How disrespectful is it to make one video and fucking move on? You see some of this bullshit, it goes back to 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. That's 4 or 5, probably even longer, 6, 7 fucking years of this shit. It's just gotten to the point where enough people have gotten fucked that it's coming and it's, quote, newsworthy. It broke past the threshold where people can say like, okay, this is worth talking about. Because let's be honest, if it's not a topic that people want to hear, who's going to make a video on it? If you make a video about someone who screwed over a client, it's not going to come up in search because no one's looking for it. But now it's important to not just, and this is another reason why, it's so easy to go after someone's features. You can make a video about me and make fun of my beard. You can make a video about me and make fun of my hair. You can make a video about me, this guy's always wearing fucking glasses. I don't personally care, but I could go after someone's looks. That's so easy. There has to be context. It's not about just burning someone up. It's not just about making fun. It's about it goes so much deeper. It's not about, so that's why I'm not making videos about, the way she looks, although there will be content about having coaches with eating disorders that look physically unhealthy that are promoting and improper, like they can't even do it themselves. You have to practice what you preach. So there's aspects to that. But in other words, my content, the reason why I continue is because it goes deep and it needs attention. It really does. It really needs attention. And it would be so easy to just make a video and then move on. And then everyone would forget about it. And then people would just lose interest. They'd move on with something else. The Grammys would come on, or then it'd be another holiday and Valentine's Day. We'd forget about it. So I'm staying on it. And, it's not just for the views. I mean, I would never make a video. Come on, who wants to make a video that no one fucking sees? I'm grateful for everyone that's following me now as a result, but I make it clear in my next video too. This is not like I'm milking it to mooch. I'm not just jumping on this because it's the flavor of the week. The reason why I've made 4 or 5 videos is because right now, I feel it. I'm like sweating. This pisses me off. This absolutely fucking pisses me off. This is literally why I started Swolenormous, because I'm so fed up with the fitness industry. I'm pissed off at all this shit. People that are making, and it's not just the money, but people that are getting all this notoriety and coaches and all these followers and all this attention. But I know that they're fucking jabronis and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's why I'm upset. It ruins the industry for people like myself. Not only that, it ruins it for people that might want to get involved with the industry. They might want to be coaches themselves, but they look at it from the outside like, fuck, supplements are a hot mess. Marketing, it looks like all scams and, quick fixes and magic and dumbass fucking challenges and magic pills and potions and marketing. And people are like, I'm going to do something else. I'll become a lawyer. Or I'll study something else. Forget this. It's going to discourage a lot of people that can help people. Maybe discourage them from getting involved with the industry. So it goes a lot deeper, and it's really the culture that has to change. Everyone has to stop looking at it as just, I don't know. I don't know. Like, how do you become an influencer when you don't even know how to influence yourself to be healthy? How can you actually say some of the shit in her captions? How can you fucking say that shit? How can you say some of the things that she says in her captions about empowering women and blah, 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 and, you know, working hard in business and blah, blah. I mean, that's like a sociopath. That's fucked up. You're absolutely out of your fucking mind. It's the most hypocritical nonsense that I've ever heard. And it pisses me off. So it gives me the most amazing pleasure to capitalize off this bullshit. That's why it gives me pleasure. If it gives me pleasure at all, that's why I like it. That's why I'm keep making the videos, because you know what? You fucked up. Fuck you. And I'm going to stay on it as long as I feel like it. So as long as I have a good topic or something good to rage on, you're going to see a lot of this. So bear with me, because it's going to get juicy. I'm going to ride this biatch like Secretariat. Triple Crown, motherfuckers. Oh. So that being said, I know you're enjoying it. I mean, the videos are getting great traction. You're all loving it. So I see in the comments. So on those videos too, if you enjoy it, I mean, definitely let me know. If you're fucking getting sick, if they're not getting any attention, I'm not going to make them anymore. But as long as I have something to say, I'm going to say it, because I make these videos for me as much as for you. If I have something to say, as you know, I have thousands of videos and thousands of podcasts. I make the content that I want to fucking make. I'm just very, very grateful that you also enjoy what I make. Okay. So I make it because I want to make it first. I get a lot of people that send me ideas and, oh, you should rant on this. You should do a driving while gaining on this. And I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it's stupid, but it doesn't do anything inside to me. I don't feel that tingle in my taint. I usually get that taint tingle. I usually get like ooh, that's a good one. Fucking, I'm going to rage on that. That's when I really, if I feel the taint tingle, if I don't feel that tingle in my taint, I leave it alone. It's not right. I got to feel that like, oh, that's a good one. I got a good joke, or I got a good thing in my head. So today's episode is fire. And the intro, those intros though, right? The intros of these videos, fucking on point. Papa Swole is on a roll. So drop some comments below. Chris, can you link it, please? Just go to my YouTube channel. Just go to my YouTube channel at Swolenormous. It's the last video that I posted, the most recent. Plus, if you need context, you should watch the first one. I pinned it to the top of the page on YouTube. It's the main like welcome video. The one with the long intro with Mr. Adolf. So you can check that out if you need context for what the actual problem is. That intro was great. Which intro are you talking about, Caesar? There's a couple good ones. The one today was great. Found you while searching for responses to Brittany Dawn fitness drama, and dude, you're awesome. Thank you. You see, that's why that's part of the reason why this is happening. I feel like I feel like this is like just the time where people need old Papa Swole. This is the time for me. This is like, I'm in the right place at the right time. It just so happened to be that way. So if you come into this community and you start loving the podcast, it was all good. It's like you watch that video, you're like, fuck that bitch, and you end up following me. It's like, oh, great. It worked out for all of us, because this is no different than what I normally do. I do roasts, I do rants, I do the podcast. Like, I'm not changing anything that I do. It just happened to bring us together. So I'm grateful for that. Stayed for the honesty. Good shit. You see, so I mean, everyone wins. And you know, I don't give a fuck what anyone else says. Oh my God. You know, when I do this podcast, and a lot of you probably know this already. If you notice, if you listen, how many of you listen to the podcast too? Or you just watch it live, or you just watch it live when you can? You know that I don't run ads on my podcasts. I don't have any ads on my podcast. If anything, I talk about specials. I talk about special things that are going on, or new releases, or my stuff. I talk about my stuff, you know, if I'm running any kind of special thing like that, or new YouTube drops like in the pre-roll or the post-roll. I don't do any ads. I don't run any ads. And I'm actually going to discuss a little bit more. You'll hear more about that coming up. Because, you know, I get a lot of, as you can imagine, I mean, in this community, let's see, probably got about 200,000+ people in the Swolenormous community. You know, that's of course a rush just off the top of my head, but I get a lot of requests for sponsors and for people listening in, because this podcast, I mean, we get tons and tons of viewers and downloads every week, every month. So I have a lot of requests for doing ads and sponsorships, but I'm adamantly against it. But I'll give you some more information on that. But the reason why is because I want to say whatever the fuck I want. And a lot of you know that when you take money, when you have a sponsor, when you have an advertisement, right? Yeah, you don't sell fit tea. When you have a product that you promote, first off, it's kind of bullshit, right? It's kind of bullshit. I'm talking up a product like, hey, we're doing this, that, and the other. Check out this, go to their website. It's false emotion. Like, I don't personally fucking care about something. If I like something, I'll share it with you. If I try something and I really like it, or I did something, I'll tell you straight up. I'll be like, I like this, and I don't need money from them. But I don't like promoting other people's shit, especially if I've never used it. No one's going to send me a fucking box of some shit like, hey, you want to try these granola bars? Fuck no. And I don't want your money either. I don't care about that shit. So, and that keeps the Daily Swole podcast pure. And I intend on keeping it ad-free forever. I have no interest in taking ads. I have no interest in taking ads because anytime you get someone in your pocket, you are susceptible to their opinions. You're susceptible to saying things that don't offend them. And I want to say whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want, however the fuck I want. And as a result of that, you can either stay around, listen, support the show, or you can go and listen and check something else out, which is totally fine, cool. So that's why this podcast is ad free. And I've been getting a lot of people, actually, I'll just tell you now, and I'll give you more information on that. A lot of people have asked me about supporting the show. And it's kind of coming to the point because the show, a lot of you know, it takes a lot of my time. It takes a lot of my time. Producing the show, putting the show out there is not free, and it's a big investment in time and in equipment and financial. So there's a lot that goes into getting the podcast up regularly every single day and doing what I do, which I love doing it, by the way. I absolutely love doing it. So I've had a lot of people that asked me, and I thought about this, and I know other podcasts that do this as well. And I'm going to be I'm going to have a page on my site for those of you that have mentioned it. And in order to keep the podcast 100% ad free, I am giving everyone the ability, not the requirement, far from it, because I want my stuff to be accessible to everyone. Okay. I mean, this is language, this is communication. Everyone has the right to access this material, this content. So what I am doing is I will be providing the ability and the means to support the show. And that way, this show will be able to stay daily. This show will be able to continue on as is and continue to grow. And everyone will be able to get it ad-free as long as it continues as such. So I will be giving more links. And again, this is not a requirement. This is not going to be something that is going to be, out of realistic proportions. It's going to be anything from $1 to a couple bucks a month, whatever you feel in terms of the value of this show, because I know this show provides a lot of value to a lot of people. And I take pride on providing that type of value. I take pride in doing what I do and helping you all stay focused, stay on point every single day. So I am going to give you the ability to, support the show. I mean, support the show and give back essentially in reciprocal to how you view the value of the show. And it's not a requirement. It's not something that you need to do, but I will have more information on that and stuff on the site if you are interested in supporting the Daily Swole podcast. And that's just my pledge to you in order to make sure that this podcast does stay free, does stay free of ads, does stay on the air, does stay uncensored, does stay exactly the way we have it and the way I created it. And that way, there's going to be, and that's very important. Like PBS, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to take ads. And literally, as you can imagine, when your YouTube channel literally doubles in a couple days, get a lot of people contacting me. And I do not want to accept them. And some of them may or may not. I'm not going to go into details in terms of the lucrative nature, but at the same time, it's more important to me to provide the content and the value and to continue to do so to everyone's, but I definitely want to give you the opportunity and to say thank you, to allow you to support the show. And because it's for you. Because it's for you. This show and the podcast is for you. The podcast is for you. So that's it. That's it. That's really all I have to say. This show is for you. This podcast is for you. And I'm sure you want it to stay ad-free. I'm sure you want it to stay sponsor-free because you get better quality content and we keep our community sharp and ever growing. So I'll give you more information on that probably in the pre-roll and some links and stuff, or the link where you can optional. Again, it's 100% optional. I definitely don't want anyone, and I want to make this very clear. If any of those options that I provide, and like I said, it's going to be as little as I can make it in terms of processing, probably as low as even $1 every month. I'm going to make it as low as possible. And if anything, if any of those options that I provide on the link when I mention it, like, hey, if you want to support the show, if any of those options, even the lowest amount, is something that puts financial strain on you, don't do it. Okay, this is not to make you uncomfortable. This is not to make you feel guilty. This is not to make you feel like obligated. Quite the opposite. It's just the ability to keep this as it is and to give you the ability to reflect the value that the podcast gives to you on a daily basis. So I'm thankful for whatever you choose, if you choose to do so, and I'll provide the link. So again, there's no obligation. Just want to put that out there because I've been getting a bunch of sponsors. I'm turning them all down, and I'm getting a bunch of you asking like, hey, do you do anything like this? Because I don't want to use Patreon. I don't like to have any kind of anyone in between me and you. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, I want us to be close. I want us to be tight, bruh, and ladies. So that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what it is, but I'm doing it myself. So I appreciate it. All right. I do appreciate no ads. It would be cool. Donation. Thank you, April. I appreciate that. So yeah, so I'll give you more. I'll give you more information on that, but that way we can keep the Daily Swole as is. So that was long-winded, but I wanted to get that out there because it was on my mind and in my heart, from the bottom of my heart. That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm going to feel weird saying from the bottom of my heart anymore. That's a Brittany Dawn joke because she says it all the time. All right. That's a holy intro, right? This has been, well, I'm glad that you're all still here. All right. Should we get on with the main topic? I guess that was the main topic. This is all part of it. So today's episode, the focus, or like the fitness, that was kind of like the news, that was kind of like the housekeeping. That was like the latest and the greatest. This is about getting your nutrition on point. So how many of you have problems with your nutrition? How many of you are struggling with macros? How many of you are dealing with an elimination process? How many of you are, I guess, in between or making decisions about what, if I want to do keto, if I want to do paleo, if I want to do, how many of you are kind of like, are struggling with this shit? Excuse me. What I want to make sure is everyone's simplifying their nutrition. Simplification. My approach with fitness and with nutrition is that if you're not narrowing shit down to the simplest, to the most basic, the most common denominator, you're leaving progress, you're leaving peace of mind, you're leaving clarity, and you're leaving just gains, results on the table. You're absolutely leaving results on the table. You have to be simple. In a world that is so complicated, in an industry that on purpose tries to complicate things in order to sell you a solution. How fucked up is that? And yes, if you've done the elimination, and those of you that are Swolenormous X members that have had success with this process, drop it in the comments on IG and Facebook, or YouTube if you're watching there. How fucked up is that? This industry revolves around complicating things in order to sell you a solution. Fucked up from top to bottom. Complicated to sell you a solution. That's jacked up. That is fucked up. So what do we have to do? We have to unfuck it. We have to unfuck the situation. We have to unfuck the industry. And the way that we do that is by simplifying our approach. So rather than, I'm going to simplify, if you thought that the elimination diet was simple already. Like I said, it's not necessarily easy because you're going through a process of lifestyle changes. I am going to simplify it even more. Ready for this? I'm going to simplify the elimination diet even more. So a lot of you know what the elimination diet is. If you don't know, you can check out some of my content and some of my podcasts earlier this year. We did a week or two right after New Year's, about a week or two of nutrition content, elimination. We talked about what foods to eat, what foods to get rid of, how to approach your training, the New Year's type stuff, right? The New Year's resolution type points. When it comes to the elimination diet, understand that you can do an elimination. You can cut out, that's the process of cutting out foods. So you can test them and see which foods you're more sensitive to, test out allergies, intolerances, discomforts, joint pain, migraines, bloating. This is like all these things, gluten. You can test all these things in an elimination process. When you do an elimination, you can slice, you can cut an elimination in so many different ways. You don't have to do an elimination like anyone else. Your elimination doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Your elimination can be very, very unique, not to mention you can always fine tune this later. It's not like you do it one time and that's it. You don't have to just do it one time. You can always go back and spot check. So I get a lot of questions. Hey, can I still eat eggs on the elimination? Can I still have grass-fed beef? And if you're going to, and here's the kicker, because the basic process is you cut out a lot of different foods. You cut out a lot of different foods that are high risk for issues, where a lot of people commonly have issues with these foods. So what do? You cut them out for 4, 6, 8 weeks, and then you reintroduce them one at a time later on in order to see which ones you react best to or worst to. So you can really learn your body and kind of reset your hormone balance and everything, reduce inflammation and so forth. What I want to encourage you to do is if you look at that and you see a full-blown like hardcore elimination, and that's going to keep you from being consistent. You're going to fall off that in a week. You're going to fall off that in a week and a half or 2 weeks. If it's too hard for you to do, then you can do a lighter elimination. You don't have to cut out everything all at once. Remember, you're not going to live for just 4 or 6 weeks. You're going to be alive for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 fucking years. Have a little patience. Take your time. If anything that you do with nutrition, anything, if anything that you do with nutrition is going to keep you from being consistent, fucking ditch it. Eat grass-fed beef if you're worried about getting enough satisfaction or you feel cranky and hungry. Like if you're not getting your grass-fed beef, then consume it. You could always go back and learn the foods, once in the future, once you figure out which foods you're better off with, you can always remove that later on and try fish a little bit, right? You can try fish instead of beef. Al and I were talking about this. His body doesn't react well to red meat. Some people don't digest red meat well, whether it's grass-fed or not. So he likes fish more. Well, you can always test that on an individual level. The reason why you don't want to start with just one food removal is because if there are 5 foods that bother you and you only remove one, you might feel like, oh, that food doesn't change anything. Removing that doesn't change anything, where it actually did change stuff, but you were still consuming 4 other foods that were fucking you up. So you didn't notice the benefit. You didn't notice the benefits of removing that one food. So it's important for you to understand that you can do a big clean sweep. Some people can really go cold turkey. Some people can really rip the Band-Aid off. Other people, you might have to do maybe half. Cut out half of those. And then after you kind of get that going for a week or two, then cut out one more, then cut out one more. Or after you do the elimination, hey, I'm still feeling a little bit weird. Let me try removing this food for a couple weeks. Then let me try removing this food. It's life. You can always adapt and adjust further on. It's not like you drop the hammer and then boom, end of story. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It doesn't have to be so fucking severe. We always make it so it's just boom. We always make it so it's either this or that. It's vegan, it's paleo, it's keto, or it's nothing. Like it's not anything. It has to have a name and a category. And if there aren't several books about it, it doesn't exist. Come on. Come on. Come on. Like for real. It doesn't have to be so cut and dry. I encourage you to customize it. That's the only way to really hammer down your nutrition. Bottom line, you got to be consistent. If you're doing veganism and you can't be consistent, it's not going to work. If you're doing keto and you can't be consistent, it's not going to work. If you're doing paleo and you can't be consistent, it's not going to work. It has to work. You have to be consistent. You absolutely have to be consistent. Because when you find, people ask me all the time, don't you cheat? Not really. No. I have no desire to cheat because the food that I eat is my cheat food. I love my food. I don't want to cheat. I want my food. I want my food. I want my food. My food. I want my fucking food. I don't want to cheat. When you're eating the foods that your body reacts best to, you don't have to cheat. That's the thing. Angela Brewer on Facebook, I gave up oatmeal for a long time, started eating again, and my stomach would be so bloated and I gained weight. See, well, you tested it and you found out what works and what does not work. Trisha Christakos on Facebook, dairy equals stomach upset, achy body, sluggish, no bueno. Grains equals migraines and achy joints. Yeah, and it's different. Grains in this country is different than grains in other countries, or wheat. It's different. There's a lot more. There's wheat germ agglutinin. The size of the molecules. The gluten is different because we fucking process and we manipulate and grow and genetically modify all this shit until it's fucking a cyborg. And then we try to eat it and our body is like, fuck that. And it reacts poorly, but then we don't know any better because we're not taught this, and gluten and corn and sugars and everything. So we just walk around with chronic issues all the time. And then guess what happens in 20 or 30 years? We have heart disease, we have cancer, we have diabetes, we have all this we have all these problems, and it's preventable for sure. It's preventable. Do you not eat any grains at all? No, I don't. I personally do not. I have half a cup of ice cream twice a week, and that could be affecting your gains, and it could be keeping you latched in and hooked on like a chain to an addiction. It could be fucking you up and you don't even realize it. However, it's your choice. If you feel fine, you don't have any extra fat or stubborn that you don't want to get rid of, and you're okay with consuming sugar and processed, it's your life. And a lot of this is science, and a lot of this is my opinion too. So, I mean, sugar fucking kills people. Sugar is really dangerous, especially when it's processed, especially when these carbohydrates are not accompanied naturally with a lot of fiber. Sugar is a drug. Sugar is a legal drug the way it is in our food in this country. Sugar is a legal fucking drug. Jeremy on Facebook, tried ice cream for the first time in 2 years, was fucked up for 72 hours. That's another thing about food. The idea that whatever you feel today is, oh, what I ate this morning. It could be. I mean, you could eat something and then feel shitty right after, but sometimes you'll have migraines or joint pain or feel sluggish. It could be from something you ate 2 days ago. It's crazy. You can have diarrhea or feel sick and kind of feel like you have the flu for a couple days. Your body sometimes reacts really strongly to these things because a lot of it's not real food. It's not natural, and your body's rejecting it. Think about it. When you eat something, your body has no choice. When you're eating something, your body has no choice. You put it in, your body's like, well, either it might throw it up if it's something that's really bad for you to digest and really want it to avoid. But your body will, it's like, all right, well, I guess we're going to fucking have to put this somewhere. We're going to have to figure out where to put this fucking thing. Think about it. It's weird. When you eat something, when it gets past your mouth, your threshold, you have to literally, your body has to fucking deal with it. So when you're eating garbage, your body's like, well, I guess I have to fucking deal with this. That's not nice. That's not nice for your body. It's not being nice. You're literally giving your body no choice and it has to just fucking deal with it. I don't think that's a good play. That's my opinion. I don't think that's a good play. I don't think you should be forcing your body to deal with shit. So let's see some other questions. It's amazing once sugar crap is out of your system, how your hunger levels out and you just don't crave crap. Agreed. Yes, for sure. Trying to keep that Swole rule, food, not ingredients. Eat real food. Food is, what's interesting is when you literally take a comparison between a human body and a car. I'm sure you've heard that analogy before. I use it regularly because they both require fuel. It's a very good analogy. However, you never, ever, ever would put a fuel in your car, your motorcycle, lawnmower, whatever. A lot of you won't even use. How many of you have ever not used a cell phone charger because it was like a third-party charger and you didn't want to fuck up your phone? How many of you ever or that even maybe crossed your mind? Maybe that's a little bit specific, but you ever see like one of those like cheap chargers? Like, I don't want to plug my phone into that. What if it fucks up my battery or something? You'll take more care for charging your fucking phone that's going to be obsolete in a year than you will what you put in your body. That's some fucked up shit. That's some fucked up shit. Not to mention, you'll rage before you put in the wrong gas in your car. You're not going to put unleaded in a diesel engine. You'll fuck it up. You're not going to put diesel in an unleaded. You would never do that. You would never put premium in an unleaded. You'll fuck your car up. You're not going to put sugar or salt in your gas tank. However, you'll just shove anything in your face. Anything in your face. You'll drink and you'll eat and you'll just suck down anything. You'll swallow any dirty dick. We talk about dirty dicks all the time. Junk food is like a dirty dick. I know some people like dirty dicks, I'm sure. So, I'm sure it's a small percentage. Why wouldn't you give your body the fuel that it should have? You'll never go to a gas station. Think about this. How about the analogy gets better? All right. The analogy gets better. So you go to the gas station and what do you see? Not the diesel. You see unleaded. You see, Ultra or Supreme and then Super. I think it's usually unleaded, Super, and then Ultra, or Ultra and then Super. Who cares? When you have those three, think about what else is three? Macronutrients: protein, fat, and carbs. You've never gone to the gas station and thought, okay, let me give 2 gallons of Super. I'll do 5 gallons of Ultra, whatever it is, and then I'll do 10 gallons of the regular. No, you just put the fucking one that it needs. I'm not saying that you don't need 2 other macronutrients. It's different in that sense for the body, but you're not mixing up shit that you shouldn't mix up. You're not doing weird fucking things with your food. You're not eating crackers and garbage and artificial processed stuff because it's not real food. It's not natural food. It's not stuff that your body understands how to consume. Okay, you need protein, you need fat, you need carbohydrates. What you don't need is carbohydrates coming out of your fucking ears. You don't need sugar coming out of your fucking ears. You don't need to be drinking sugar. You don't need a gram of protein per fucking pound of body weight. You don't need to be sucking down protein until you're pissing out steak. You don't need that much protein. Fats are amazing. There are some great books out there. There's a lot of stuff. There's ones that have been written for years and years. You type up, there's a lot of great paleo books out there, keto books. There's even even a lot of the vegan. It's about getting rid of the junk food. None of these books like Plant Paradox, Grain Brain, any of these, Wheat Belly, all these books, they're not accepting junk food. None of them are promoting Doritos or, as we were talking about, because of Cheetos, no one's talking about soda. These doctors and neurologists and professionals, they might differ on a couple different things. But what I want you to do is if you read these books, you use Audible or anything like that. When you read these books, read more than one. Don't just read one and be like, that's the answer, that's everything. When you read a couple, you learn how should I say this? You see how right and how correct this way of eating is. Because when you take these, maybe it's 3 or 4 with slightly different philosophies, but then you take them and you overlay them. It's like a Venn diagram and all 4 of them are barely separated. There's so much crossover. Maybe it's like the amount of fish or the amount of red meat or the amount of fat, or some might be a little bit more extreme like keto. Some might be more, but they overlap in so many ways. And it's understandable when you have different people and different research and different experiences and different areas of expertise in the sciences, but they overlap so much. And when you look at it like that, and then you find your direction, that's a great place to start. There's nothing wrong with modeling your nutrition off someone else. If you understand that it's not a cage, you don't just you eat that or nothing. You have the ability to customize some shit. You just have to take 5 fucking seconds, take out your phone and Google a little bit and research and look it up, read. You're not in school anymore, but your education doesn't stop. You don't need to have a degree or to get CEUs or to pay for education. You can do it yourself. You just have to stop watching fucking Netflix and go on Google and start reading, or use Audible. You don't even have to read anymore. This technology literally is gonna, if you want it to, it'll pour information in your brain. All you have to do is use your thumb and hit a couple things, and you can listen to amazing podcasts like this. You can listen to amazing books, and all this stuff is available. And I think we can all agree, some people love being a vegan. Fine. But they didn't know that they loved it until they tried it. Some people love doing keto. They fucking love it. Fine. But they didn't know it until they tried it and they learned. And will it work forever? Maybe, maybe not. Are they doing it optimally? Well, you have to keep on learning and check out the latest research and read the latest books and check out and do blah, 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 blah. I don't think it's necessarily the best thing long term, but most people, how many of you know someone that does keto wrong? I would say 99% of people do keto wrong. People like the name. It sounds good. You eat a lot of fat. Oh, you get to eat beef and bacon and butter and cheese. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, keto. People are sucking down so much garbage on keto. It's absurd. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. Just because you have a name attached, it doesn't mean so many people don't do it right. They don't do it right. They don't do it long enough. And how many people that do keto are pounding, and I mean pounding fiber? Most people think if they're not eating just fucking fat, then they're not doing ketosis. So they don't eat enough fiber and they eat too much protein. And that's usually what happens. And the excessive protein that they consume, or too excessive, kicks them out of ketosis because of gluconeogenesis. And there's other factors, but most people don't do it right because they just follow what they hear on the news. They just follow what they hear on the headlines. And a lot of you are saying, oh, Brittany Dawn is on Good Morning America, she's on that. They're not going to cover shit. They're not going to tell you anything that I haven't already told you already. They're going to tell you what's nice and neat and packageable. They're not going to say any naughty words like taint, because guess what? Guess what? If you're on Good Morning America and you're a reporter, or you're just like talking about it on Good Morning America, you can't say shit or come at shit because you're afraid of getting fired, because everyone's a fucking bitch these days. Everyone's a political correct pussy, and they're not going to say anything. They're just going to tell you probably less than what you've seen already in my YouTube videos. I mean, watch it, check it out. I'm not saying it's going to be good or it was good or bad. I actually didn't watch any of the Good Morning America ones, the ones today or tomorrow or whatever anyone's saying. I don't know what I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I'm not going to learn anything with that shit. The fuck out of here. So, that's what happens. It doesn't mean that you can't get information, but the mainstream it's a challenge because you only get a snippet of a couple minutes and you can't really go into depth with issues, especially like this, unless I don't know how big this whole thing is going to get. How big do you think this is going to get? I mean, isn't Good Morning America, is that a national show, or does that have like smaller little sectional things? I know I just went from the elimination diet to that, but I'm kind of done with the nutrition thing. That was my point. That was my spiel. I'm just looking at comments now. Keto is Atkins, nothing new. Yeah, I don't even know the details of all the details on. What's that? But I think it's pretty much Atkins, wasn't it? Like the reformulated Atkins or something like that. It's huge. It's national, but is there only one, or are there like local Good Morning Americas? That's what I wasn't sure about. Because when I first heard that, I'm like, Good Morning America. I'm like, really? Like, is it that big? Not that it shouldn't be, but I'm just kind of like, is that going to make some kind of a show? Just watch the segment. Is it worth me watching? I mean, I guess I will. I mean, I saw a part of it. I just didn't watch the whole thing. I saw the beginning. It was like a fitness influencer. I was like, oh God, I don't want to hear this fucking type of like spiel. Oh, so there's only one. That's what I thought. Maybe there's like a local. I thought maybe there was like a local one. There's like a local. Good Morning America had like a Texas division or this, and there's like the big national one. I don't know. Less than 4 minutes. Less than 4 minutes. Oh God, how you gonna? I think my content has amassed to like an hour and 20 minutes or an hour, and I've made like a feature. The content I made so far on her is like a Lord of the Rings film. I've made like a Harry Potter series. That's what I should have named it. The Deathly Hallows. The Goblet of Fire. But they don't let her be the victim. Oh, nice. That's good. They warn people online to be careful. Well, that's what the news does. They scare you into fearing everything. That's the problem. It's not, look, that's the problem, my people. Not that this attention is bad, but honestly, I don't think the Good Morning America thing it might not be a net positive. And I'll tell you why. It's because it's a scare tactic. People who are headline readers are going to be like, oh shit, fitness influencers are scammers. Oh my fucking God. And then you're just spreading bullshit and lack of trust. Like people aren't going to go in depth. People aren't going to research. They're going to read the headline and move on. So now everyone's going to just see fitness influencers scam people. They're going to see a fitness influencer, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to think, oh, fitness influencers are scams. And then they're going to be skeptical and not, I don't know. That's what I think is going to happen more than it actually does anything positive. That's why I'm making that's why I'm making my shit. That's why and that's the problem on Instagram, conditioning Carmen. The interview was super surface level. That's the problem. It's super surface level. It's 4 minutes. It's a big audience, but it's a headline. And people are going to take away from that. Fitness influencer steals money. So then people are going to talk about it at the water cooler, like, oh, a fitness influencer, and they're not going to buy an online program in this because, oh shit, those people are scams. I saw that on the news. Am I wrong? I mean, that's how people read the news. Yeah. Hell yeah, Robert. I maxed out Spotify. Trisha, it's totally going to make people think twice about doing an online program. Yeah. I mean, if you want to hear more about this, Alan Roberts from Every Damn Day Fitness, we talked about this on, was it episode 1011? It was on Monday. We talked about this the other day because he has online programs. He does stuff like that too. He has coaching though. He has coaching is more, more advanced, not for beginners necessarily. Since we're talking about better food choices and elimination diet, how do you feel about protein powder? I don't use protein powder. If anything, you want to have something that is good for the joints, that helps you recover and restore. You can do things like if you drink Bulletproof coffee, you can blend in things like collagen powder, which is a protein powder, but it's a type of protein that's important. That's good for the joints. But I also consume a lot of bone broth. You get a lot of glycine, proline. It's great for the gut. It's also great for connective tissue and inflammation. So you get a lot of other nutrients too, but I don't do anything like whey protein and stuff like that. But there are good brands out there like Vital Proteins has been known to make a good grass-fed collagen protein powder. And again, what the problem with a lot of these protein powders, not in addition to you just don't need them, just eat enough food because you don't need to suck down all the protein that everyone has told you, that kind of bro science shit. One of the issues is the processing of protein, because on the metal, you get a lot of metals. They've tested. There is an article, and for the fucking life of me, I don't know if any of you would know it off the top of your head. You could probably Google it and Google Swolenormous and then protein powder or protein powder research. We did an episode, I don't know when it was, I would say within the last 200 or 300 episodes, with an article breaking down how they tested like 130 protein powders, and all of them they found heavy metals. They found metals in them or something from the processing. So it wasn't even just the whey itself or inflammation in this and the fillers. It was like literally they found shit that shouldn't be in protein, just because when you're on big machines and you're just, and you're fucking shipping it nationwide in plastic, who knows? Like, well, who knows what the fuck is in there? Can you imagine if you have like little bugs or beetle parts or who they're spiders? Who knows what you're getting in that shit? Come on. I mean, who knows? And especially when it comes to the regulation with supplements, you can get away with so much shit. You can fucking make supplements in your kitchen and sell it legally. Crazy. The segment, I think, was cautionary without vilifying all online yeah, but I know, but people don't look at that way. It might be nice if their intention was saying, oh, we're not vilifying all online trainers, but people see the headline, they see a fitness scammer, and they move on. Most people don't listen. They just tune it out. People don't hear shit. People don't hear shit, and let alone do they absorb it, and let alone do they... Look, it's one thing to hear it, it's one thing to listen, it's one thing to process it, and it's one thing to take action on it. That's why a lot of my content, I'll talk the same. I'll fucking say it again and again and again and again. I'll say it again and again and again and again and again and again, and I'll fucking say it, and I'll 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 fucking say it, and then I'll fucking say it again, and then I'll say it again, and I'll say it 3 times more, because repetition, you got to beat some things into everyone's head. That's why I talk about yoga all the time. There's a lot of themes. I'm not creating any brand new concepts. I'm just organizing it and putting it in a simple form. That's why I keep it so simple, because the simpler it is, it almost sounds, my shit almost sounds like shady. Like, what do you mean? You're just cutting out those foods and you're just doing, oh shit, and you're adding yoga? Like, that doesn't sound like it can work. Well, it does fucking work, because it's the right way to approach your health and fitness. It just doesn't sound complicated. And it's like, well, there's so many things to choose from. There must be a complicated solution. It's just like cars or watches. Well, if it's a $10,000 watch, it must be better than my Timex. How many of you have had an expensive watch that fell apart, and then you buy a $10 digital watch and it lasts you for 10 fucking years? I've had that several times. The best watches I've ever owned, I don't wear watches anymore because I don't know what fucking time of the day it is anyway. We all have cell phones now and we can just look at it. But I used to get, like, I had a G-Shock watch. I had an expensive watch. I got it for a present or a birthday once, and the band broke, like, early on having it, just snapped off, and I never really got it fixed. I had like this cheap watch one time that I bought for keeping time between sets when I worked out. So I wanted a small watch and I wanted a cheap one. So I put it around my wrist. I wore that shit I wore it for like 7 years through hardcore training. I used wraps and stuff too. I just made it loose, and I wore that for years, and it kept on fucking working. $10. So Jacqueline, it takes 21 days to make a new habit. I don't like that. I don't buy that for a fucking second. I'll tell you why. So everyone, 21 days. And I'll tell you why I don't like it, because if it takes you 21 days to make a new habit, it really only took you 1. Commitment or change doesn't take time. It takes commitment. Change does not take time. It takes commitment, because if you commit to doing something and you're like, I'm going to fucking do this from now on. It took you 1 fucking second. It took you 1 day. You just don't do it again. So how would it take you 21 days if you did it from day 1 and you never stopped? It's nice to say that. I'm sure they ran tests and they did, on average, people that did it over 21 days stayed with it the longest, blah, blah, blah. Or it took you 1 day and you just never stopped. And people are fucking weak, lazy, and they are susceptible to other people's opinions, and they don't know discipline. And people are used in this society to getting rewarded for being lazy fucks. We're getting used to being rewarded 8th place trophies. We get used to being rewarded for not putting in full effort. So I know I've heard that too, Jacqueline, and this is nothing against you. And I know what you're saying, and you're saying it from a good place, but that's my approach to it. Like, I mean, if you fucking do it, it takes you now. Like, oh, you made the change. Long-lasting change? Well, how do you know if it's long-lasting change? You actually have to do it long-lasting for you to know. So do it long-lasting. If you want long-lasting change, then fucking change and make it long-lasting and don't stop. So it's only, right? So if you want to lose 100 pounds and you lost 100 pounds, you didn't lose all at once. You lost 1 pound at a time. It just added up to 100. Exactly. Look at you, 1 day, 1 step at a time. And that's why I got behind me. So it has to do with the elimination, 1 day at a time, and adjust and move on. And we'll talk more about this tomorrow. So anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for episode 1013 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, and in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go and subscribe to Papa Swole. It's actually not Papa Swole, at Swolenormous on YouTube. And make sure you check out the latest video, another drop coming tomorrow morning. So make sure you hit the bell and turn on your notifications. And I'll give you all more details on supporting the Daily Swole podcast. And I'll be giving announcements and stuff like that on how to support the show. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 1014 of The Sleeves. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.